Okay, so for this, thanks for everybody to be here. For this webinar, we will see how to use lists in BioCoherence. So I just want to start with the difference between a scan and a test list. With a scan, you can do a scan with the sensor or with an Apple Watch. Whereas when you do live tests with lists, you can only do them with the sensor. Because we don't have access to the Apple Watch APIs to do anything live with the Apple Watch. So this is one case where the sensor is absolutely needed. So you need either this one or the upgraded sensor for professional versions that will come at one point. So any of the sensors that we will propose branded BioCoherence will be able to do live tests. So when you do a recording, you start with a recording that shows on the screen. And at the end of the recording, everything is computed locally on the computer, and you get some screens to analyze everything that happens. So in the body, in the mind, spirit, and in the energy. But when you work with tests, you will work with an immediate answer of the user's response when you present him an information. So this information can be a text, or can be a picture, or can be frequencies, or any kind of information like that. So the system will just show the information to the user. So it's important that the user sees the screen, unless you do only frequency tests when it needs to hear the frequencies, of course. And we will measure how the various biomarkers react to this information that is given to the system. And this will be displayed on your screen as a needle that will move on one side or another. This needle will tell you if it's lowering his energy, giving him more energy, or is neutral. So each card will be placed, each test will come as a card, and each card will be placed in one of these three bins, which is lowering energy, neutral, or giving more energy to the user. So in this regard, you can test as many elements as you want, and you can create your own tests, which is very powerful, because I will show you in a few minutes how to create your own tests. And you can test anything, so it's really an open system. And with the test, you can also specify what organs it will act on theoretically. And this is a second way to use the test. So the first way to use the test is to do a live test, and you will get at the end a thumbs up, thumbs down, or thumbs middle, which is it lowers energy, gives more energy, or is neutral. But if you start with a scan, you can do what I call a pre-evaluation, which is according to everything that you stated on each element of the test, it will give you a percentage of adequation between this particular test element and the result of the scan. So if you say, for instance, okay, this particular element, which is, I don't know, a supplement, should, for instance, lower the kapha, the Ayurvedic kapha of the customer, or should give more energy to the prostate, I don't know, or to the brain. All of this you will specify in the list item, and it will be evaluated against the actual evaluation of the customer. So say the customer has a low energy in the brain, and you say this particular supplement should be good to enhance the brain function. It will be ranked higher than another supplement that will say, okay, it will be good for his prostate, but his prostate is already fine. So in this regard, you can create lists of every item you use every day. For instance, if you like to work with a particular supplement brand, or if you like to work with, I don't know, yoga poses, for instance, you can do a list of yoga poses and say, okay, this particular yoga poses should enhance this chakra and enhance the function of this organ, and work on this particular meridian. And in 1 second, you will have an evaluation of the whole list according to the scan that you did before. And then you can confirm with an individual test by taking, for instance, the 5 or 6 elements that you want to confirm and do an individual test on it. And at this point, each yoga pose, for instance, will be sent as a picture or as a name or as frequencies or as any information you can give to this particular element. And we will measure how the particular user's body will respond to that information, and we can so have an additional information. So one information is the pre-evaluation, which is how the stated elements will act on the particular system of this person after a scan. And the other one is how we will immediately react when we present him this information. Is that clear for everybody? Or are there any questions at this stage? Okay, so let's switch to the app. I will maybe resize it like that. So when you start with a new customer, you can, as seen last time, you can change the customer or create a new account and so on. So you can start with a recording, which will give you a scan, or we can start with a live test. So if you want to start with a live test, it will just go into your library and you will choose elements. For instance, you want to test herbs. So at this stage, there is no pre-evaluation because there is no recording, but there are some recorded evaluations from last time. So I cannot do an evaluation from today's recording because there is no recording, but I can already remember that on this particular customer, last time, the peppermint was good for him. So it's still remembered, okay? Even if it's not in this particular recording. So you would say, okay, I want to test the whole list. For that, you just have to click on perform individual test because it's already fully loaded. But as soon as you start choosing some elements, it will change the number here and the number of items that will be tested. So maybe don't test 40 items in a row. You can, but each item would be something like 5 heartbeats. So with 40 items, you will do 200 heartbeats, which is a few minutes, which is not such a problem. But if you want to go quick, maybe you have to make a pre-selection of your items, okay? And by the way, each time you click on an item, you have now a description that shows here. So this is the item description that will show on the top of the screen. Okay, so you can scroll and choose different items. Each time it will say the description. So in this particular list, it's the intended effects. And at the end, you can start doing an individual test. What is now interesting is that with the latest version, if you in fact work on a customer and you go on live tests, you have this new button, which is ask. Okay, so we are currently working on a specific customer. So you see I changed the customer, but my list is still selected, okay? So I can change my selection or else, but if I click on perform individual test, it will do the test locally. So I will have the customer in front of me. I will give him the sensor and he will do the test in front of me. So I will have to show him the screen so that he can see the different items that are tested. But another way to do it is to ask the customer because he is not with you. So any customer that has a sensor at home, so maybe you have rented him a sensor, or maybe you have lent him a sensor, or maybe he has bought a sensor, or maybe he just comes because he is a BioCoherence customer, so he was looking for a pro and he stumbled upon your account on the project directory. So in any way, you can prepare a list of items, maybe with him while you are on Skype with him or anything. And if you click on ask, it will send through our cloud the request and the recording, and it will do the recording locally with this sensor, and you will get back the results on your screen. So with that, you will get two things. You will get the results of each individual test, and you will get the result of his scan, because while we are testing, we are also recording the pulse. And at the end of this recording, we are performing the analysis for a scan. So when you start with a test, it's actually good because in one go, you will have the test results and you will have the scan, and then you will have the pre-evaluation, which is technically a post-evaluation, but it's the same, which is an evaluation according to the scan's results and the adequations between each items and the scan measurements. So you can test ask right now it's still a beta version, so it's not entirely functional. It's functional within an existing recording, but it's not yet functional from a new recording. So this will come in the next version, because we have to share the recordings through the cloud, so it must be on an existing recording. But this will be fixed in the next version. So if you do the individual test locally, it will just prompt you to start the recording. And I would have to enable my Bluetooth and start the recording. Sorry. So as with every recording, there is a little time to get the baseline of the customer. And as I'm speaking and moving, it's not very good. So it will stabilize. And as soon as we start having the baseline, I really must stop speaking. Okay, as you see, we have the needle, the picture, and the title that shows. And the idea is that when the user sees this information, his body unconsciously reacts. It's like kinesiology. If you give an information to someone and you test his muscular reaction, this is exactly what we measure. Okay, so now we have a test for this 9 tapes. And as you see, it's already calculating the recording. And we have some results, which are not very good because I was not focused at all on what I was seeing, of course. And we have this evaluation that now shows. You see 30%, minus 40%, 14, 76%. And that evaluation here comes from the recording that we did and the analysis that we did of every organs. And we can click here on order by scan evaluation, which will reorder the best ones first. So all these elements are judged at 76% good for the people that did the reaction. But you see this one is actually bad, which is not a real recording because I did it during the training. So you can use these two informations. This one, because it will lower kappa, lower pita, and increase vata, which is good according to the current recording. On this one, which is the unconscious reaction of the user when he saw the information. And so you, as a professional, you can use this information to make your mind about what is good or not for the user. And some are at 30%, and we start in negative territory, minus 14%, which means that all the actions it has are not so good for the user. So if we started with a recording and then we would have gone to test, we would start with its information and say, okay, let's confirm the best one, because I'm not sure there are too many best ones. So let's see which ones your organism says is good for him or not. And you would do the test at this point. And so have a second information about all these ones that are the same, 76%. So it would give you an additional information to make your mind on what to say is good for the user. Okay.
Yes, can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
This is incredible, I'm just opening up to the potential of all these things. I just want to ask a question that happened about the sensor. I used it a couple of times, and then my wife wanted to try it, and I gave it to her, and it wouldn't record. Like it didn't record, and then there was a little message that said humidity on your hands or something.
Yeah.
We wiped it off, and then it still wouldn't record, and I couldn't
You really have
understand
to
why.
moisture the fingers. So it measures the
okay.
electricity in the body, and electricity works with mainly with the body's moisturizing water in the body. So you just put water on your hands, and if it's not enough, put electrogel on your hands. But it's a clear sign that maybe she should drink a little bit much. A little bit more.
Okay, yes, yes. I keep telling her. So it was not enough water, not that it was too much. I thought it was too moist.
No, 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 not enough. Okay, so I will make
Oh,
it
that's
clearer.
what her
Mm.
hands were too dry because
Yeah,
she wasn't drinking enough. Got it.
exactly. Mm.
Okay, okay.
So you can use
I missed.
electrogel. You can find electrogel for a few dollars at every pharmacy,
Yeah, yeah,
but
of
you can
course.
just use plain water.
Water.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. And then the other question was, where are all these? You have already recorded all the different, like peppermint and all these names that you had there. Are they
Yes.
already in the database?
Yes, these are example
Where do
lists
you
that I
find it?
provided, but I will now show you how to create yours.
Okay,
Okay?
thank you.
So you can access already the herbs and so on that we provided, but the idea is that now I will show you how it's done and that you can do yours. Okay? So you have a little button here. So this button is to update the list from the cloud, which is usually not necessary unless you are working with someone that is making you a list and you have to update it. But usually you see, now everything is loaded. No, okay. When you have this little picture, it means that you have to load it from the cloud. But if you click on it, it will fetch it from the cloud directly. So the idea is that in a few months, or I don't know, maybe we have thousands of lists created by thousands of different users that are each specialist on one particular thing. And you can just browse all lists and download them and use them because all lists can be shared with all users through the cloud. And this could be for free or this could be for a fee. It means that if this is a paying list, each time you will want to do a test with this list, you will have to pay something that will pay the creator of the list. And it could be each time, or it could be a monthly subscription, for instance. But if you are the specialist in something and you find a way to make it into a list, it could be a source of income for you, for any creator anyway. Mm.
Mm.
Okay, so when you are here, I will enlarge a little bit the screen maybe. When you are here, you see the different categories, and the lists are mainly either information lists or frequencies. Okay, so the main menu, which is here when you have a big screen, or on top when you have a smaller screen, will allow you to choose lists. So this is only informations, frequencies. This is only frequencies, and to see all the results for this particular client. Okay, so this will mix all lists that you have tested, and you can see all results for this particular client. Okay. So when you are on frequencies, for instance, you will find a lot of frequencies that come from our protocols. So you have protocols or body or mind or energies. So in frequencies, energy are all the elements that are on the energy screens, which is these screens. No, sorry, these screens. Okay, so we have a lot of biomarkers on these screens, and all these biomarkers can be found here if you do frequencies, energy. So you will find meridians, chakras, subdoshas, atoms, and so on. So all of these elements have particular frequencies, and all can be tested one by one. So you can see the evaluation here, which is the evaluation against the results that you can find in the analysis screens. You can listen to these particular frequencies, or you can add these frequencies to your frequency list. And it will be played, it will be exported with your frequencies, or it will be played during the meditation. So in this way, you can add some specific frequency programs, either from the three main categories, which are organs. So it's physiology from the user, energy, energetical physiology, so meridian, chakras, and so on. Body is the organ physiology. So you will find a lot of frequencies for all these different items. Okay. So you can, if you want to work on, I don't know, tryptophan, you can just add it to your list like that, or you can choose to test it. And if you want to test it, you can just start performing tests, and these frequencies will be fed to the user, and we will measure how his body reacts to these particular frequencies. And according to the result, you can choose to add them to the frequency program or not, okay? And the mind organs, I should find a better term than physiology, but all these elements are physiology, even if it's in the mind. So you will find drives, momentums, and wounds, for instance. So this is all the biomarkers. This is all the biomarkers frequencies, okay? And then you have the protocols. And protocols comes mainly from RIFE frequencies or other sources like that, binaural bits also, and soon new sources. And with that, you can, as you can see, this one are on a blue background. So the white background means it's a biomarker, so it's linked to an organ or to an energetic system or to something in the mind. But the blue ones are protocols, which mean it is corrective frequencies. So when you do a frequency program, you will both have system frequencies, so physiological frequencies, and corrective frequencies. And both frequencies will usually be mixed together because you want to add a specific protocol on a specific organ. So you can test these different protocols. If you want to test 200 protocols, it will take a little bit of time, but you can do a sub-selection if you want by just checking them. Okay, or you can just know that you need it and add them here to your harmonization list, just like that. Okay. So lists are also a convenient way to access all the biomarkers and all the protocols. So you can just choose them from the folder, or you can choose to test them. To test them, you just check the check mark on the right. To add them, you just click on the plus on the left. So this is for frequencies. So now if we go to lists, we will have mainly things into products and meditation. So products would be, for instance, the list that we give as system lists, which are example lists, but it's also functional. So you see, for instance, here I have to download this list, essential oils. I know it has 64 items, but I don't have it in my system yet. So I just have to click on it and hop, it's been downloaded from our cloud. And it immediately shows the pre-evaluation according to the recording, and I can order it by scan evaluation in one click, which will allow the best ones to be first. So probably for this particular recording, all these essential oils are very good for the user, okay? And then fairly good, and then less good, and then at one point it becomes even bad, okay?
Black Little Mermaid.
Is someone speaking or is just... Okay. And then meditation is something that will be developed in the coming months, either by us or maybe by you, by creating custom meditations that you can actually insert into the user meditation. So if you want to insert a meditation, you just choose a folder. And for instance, I created some energetic meditations. And if you want to add it, it's exactly like a priority. You just add it as a priority. And it will be added to the balance part that creates custom meditations for the user. One thing in particular about meditations is that in a particular folder, if you add several meditations, it will be rotated each day, one meditation for the user. So in this way, you can create a series of meditations with a progression. For instance, something that will learn the user to do something over several days. And you can have day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6. And it will be rotated in the daily meditation of the user, just one by day. And at the end, it will come back to the first, and so on. So each time the user does a meditation, it will be different. Okay? So now, how do we create all these things? you just click on the little pencil if it is one of your lists, or the little discussion here if it's not one of your list, and you will enter the edit mode. So let's say I want to work on this list, but I find I can do better, or I want to add some specific elements for me. I would enter the editor and I would duplicate the list. If I duplicate the list, it will create the same elements, but now I will be able to edit it and to add some elements or to modify some elements. So this is a possibility. But if it is one of my lists, I can directly edit it. And something in French here, because I am the creator, so it shows my title, but in fact, you would have it in English. So let's say I have this particular list and I want to add a new item. So this is a meditation. Let's start with a new meditation. Let's do a reflection about my feet. Description, a short meditation about my feet. So this is the general description, not the meditation. What you will do is that you will click here and it will propose you to magic write the meditation. So we made some specific prompts to create a text from AI, of course, that will be made to be inserted into the daily meditation of the users. So it doesn't have the dive, the ending, or so on. It's just made to be inserted in the middle of the meditation at the proper moment. So I would click on Magic Write. It will fetch it from our cloud. And it doesn't, okay. And now I get it. So I have a text which is made from our directives that you can use as a start for editing. So maybe it's perfect for you. It's pretty good, in fact. So picture your feet as the base of a magnificent structure supporting and balancing you with grace and strength and so on. Okay, so if you are happy with it, if you are not happy, you can just add something if you want. Adding something here. Now you can do three things, in fact. The actions that I told you about before is for pre-evaluation, you have to say, well, you can say if it has a specific action on specific organs or specific vata, pitta, kapha, so Ayurvedic things, and soon more items here that you can find amongst all the biomarkers. So what you can do here, because you're a bit lazy and me too, you can just click on magic guess actions. And really click on it. Okay, and now it's from the text, it took the meditation text and it's deduced, it's also by AI, that it will even the bones, even the muscles, lower the nerves energy, lower the senses, and enhance the vascular energy. So this is a pre-evaluation amongst the most important organs that you find on the home screen of the organ maps. But you can modify it. If you click on organs, you would say, for instance, it should stimulate the eyes. Why not? And maybe you can go into detail and say it's perfectly working on the iris, on the optic nerve, and it should probably work on the foot. So where's the foot? I don't have foot. Lower, probably. Okay, I want to find foot. Maybe in the vascular system, or maybe in the nervous system. You can have some oh, that's because I'm in eye. I'm looking for the nervous. Lungs. It's already selected. That's why it's stabilized. So okay, this is interesting. The nerves are here, but it's actually already into the actions. And I'm currently looking for a stimulation on something. So I cannot choose nerve because there is a minus here, which means it will lower the action of nerve. So if I really want to work on nerves, I have to go to calendar, and now I can choose it. Okay, so if I click on it, I will have the details here. And with the details, I can choose some specific nerves that it will have some action on. So this can really be detailed. So you don't have to go into such detail in each time. You can just stay with what the magic action guessed. But if you are working on a specific supplement, for instance, and you want to go into detail, you can go up to the very fine details for specific actions, okay? So again, if something is grayed here, it's because you are not on the proper action. So just play with it and you can then edit it. And the last thing you want to do, so you can maybe add a picture if you want. So you can just take a picture, a photo of your feet if you want, or of nice feet. And the last thing you want to do is to request an audio recording. So if you click on audio recording, request an audio recording, as a matter of fact, we will receive your text. We will review your text. And if it's okay with the general feeling of the app, we will prepare a recording with the same voice as all the meditations. And when it's done, so you could just click on that and the request is sent. So at this point, we have received your request and we will review it. When it's done, it will be shown like that. So the audio meditation is available and you can actually play it.
Yourself standing on the bank of a tranquil river.
Or in French.
Imaginez-vous au bord d'une rivière tranquille.
And in as many languages as the app will be available soon. So this is it for meditations. So just to wrap it, when you create several meditations, you can add them one by one. You can add them all at once in a balance, but they will be played one by one each day. So this is in the spirit of keeping each balance short. And it's the same for priorities. You can now put as many priorities as you want. There will be a selection each day, and it will be rotated each day. So each day, the daily meditation should be around 30 to 40 minutes max, but you can also change it when you start playing with it. Now, the other kind of meditation you maybe want to create are products. So if you want to create a new product list, it's exactly the same. You can create a list, create items, but something interesting is that, okay, I have one here. When you create, so to edit the list properties, it's here. When you create a list, which is a product, you can specify a brand here. So if you work with a specific maker of supplements, for instance, you would put the brand here. And when you create a new item, you would just give the title of the item. So this is the title of an item made by CopMed, which is a French brand. And again, I would click on Magic Grace Actions. And that will fetch the contents here and the actions that comes from the contents. Honestly, it doesn't work all the time because all the information is not available to the AI at all times. So just try it with your favorite brands and see if it works or not. But when it works, it's really magic because it will fetch the composition of the elements, and then it will fetch directly the effects on the organs automatically. So it's really kind of magic. And when you have the actions for pre-evaluation, you can just get a percentage of adequation with the scan of the customer. So if your CopMed list is 200 elements long, you can directly have the 5 or 10 elements that are best for the customer at this point, according to the recordings that you just did. And then you can confirm these 10 elements with a live test and see which ones his subconscious on the autonomous system responds to. And then, of course, when you are ready with your list, you can go back here and you can make it public. And wait, if you make it unlisted, you have an invitation code. Okay, so that's interesting. Let's speak about the main items, the main list options. Okay, so when you click on the title or here on the pencil, you can state a title, a description. You can add a photo, import an image for the list, and we will see later why it's interesting. You can say the main category. Because it's a product, you can say the brand, and you can say the availability. So it could be only for you, that's private. It could be only for this customer, and we will see soon why. It could be unlisted. It means it's on the cloud, but it's not in the list of elements that people can download unless you send them your invitation code. So in this way, you can create a list on the cloud and you just send the invitation code. You can copy it on the clipboard here. You just send the invitation code to your friends and they can download the list, but only them. So they can start using the list and testing the list with you. And when you are happy, if you want, you can go public. And when you go public, you can say it's a free list or it's a paid list. And if it's a paid list, there will be a fee. Right now, it's not the case because we're still in beta. But when we are not in beta, there will be the possibility to have paid lists. And there will be a fee for users to use this list. And they can choose to pay it once or to pay a monthly fee to use the list regularly. So I don't know, if you do the list and it's a perfect list for a specific maker, for instance, maybe all the users of these makers will be happy to pay a fee to use your list with all of their customers. So in this case, they would go for a monthly fee. Or maybe one specific user will just want to do a test and see the results for this particular list. So he will pay a one-time fee and he could use the list on this particular recording.
And so just a quick question, who sets that that one-time fee or the monthly fee?
Right now, it's a good question because it's not entirely decided, but my idea is that we will set the prices because otherwise it's too complicated to make a price list and so on. Maybe at one time we will set the price free, but what I think we will do is that we will start with a price and there will be a kind of quality assessment on the list. And the price could go up if the quality assessment goes up because a lot of people use it. Or maybe we will not do something too complicated and it will be a flat price for all lists. It's not entirely decided, but at the beginning, I wanted to make some tiers. So tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. And as usual, the first idea is always very complicated and not very practical. So maybe the second idea was to start with a fixed price. So I don't know, maybe a low price for one-time usage and a monthly fee for unlimited usage, you know?
Okay.
But maybe we can then move people to a higher tier if it's a complex list or if it's because a list can also be enhanced with custom advices, for instance. And it starts like a small thing, but in my view, the list could become a very big thing if one particular professional puts a lot of knowledge into his list. Of course, the price could be higher. So we will start with something simple and probably make something a little bit more complex with time.
So when you say lists, is that the lists of available elements to test or the list of recordings?
No, it's the list of elements. It's a list of items. So when you do a list, you you set these general properties, and then you have some items into the list.
Okay, yeah.
And
I
for
got you now,
instance,
yeah.
in herbs, we have
Yeah.
39 items here.
Yeah.
Each item with a picture and so on. But you know, I cannot modify these items because I am not the owner of the list, but I can see how it has been populated.
Understood. Okay, great.
So if it's your list, in this list, there are 8 items because I just added one new. But because it's my list, I can modify it. Just know that if you do a public meditation list, we will translate the text. And as soon as it is public and translated and the text are here, the text are frozen. So you cannot modify the text afterwards, or you have to ask me for a modification, etc., which is complicated. So as soon as we enter into translations for your public lists, the translation text will be frozen. So you will still have access to your original text. But if you have important changes to do, you have to contact us so that we do the translations again. Because to make things further complicated, the app will be available in many languages. So you can start in any language, and then we will take care of the translations in all languages.
I saw a moment ago on the list you had floor plan there. Floor plan.
Yes.
With...
Okay. So floor plan is something
about?
I wanted to show you. So floor plan is typically why you need a picture on a list. So let's say I want to test some specific problems with a particular customer. This list is only for this customer. And I would import like that. I would import the floor plan that I took, or I would just took a picture or take it from my gallery because I took a picture from it. So I want to test this floor plan to make some geobiology. Okay. That will be
okay.
Then I can add some potential issues. Okay, so pool problems, bed problems, I don't know, living room problems.
Electric EMF fields.
Yes, okay. EMF fields. Moisture. Groundwater. Okay, so you see, I'm adding a list of problems like that. And now what I can do is plus items on the image. So you see, I have all my items and I can place the pool, place the bed, place the living room, which is probably here. The EMF fields will be probably everywhere.
Right.
Moisture will be probably mostly in the kitchen or I don't know what. Okay. And groundwater, let's say it's here. Okay. I have to check here to record. So you can, I should remove this in fact, because it's not used. So you can cancel or record. So if I record, everything is recorded like that. Okay. And so next time I will do the test, it will actually present the image and the zone to the user when we do the test. So it will add another level of information to the test that will allow you to make this test quickly. In this case, it's a ground floor, so it's of course specific for this particular user. So that's why we have availability only for this user. But you can do all sorts of tests like that. And if you have any kind of therapy that involves some two-dimensional organization, you can just upload the plan of this two-dimensional organization, place elements on this organization, and do the tests. So for instance, if you have any coaching maps that you use for testing different elements, or if you have some organizational chart for a company, you can just upload the organizational chart and see how the different elements react for your user. So you see, this is a very powerful way to test things on a map because it will add some visual value to the test.
Is it like kind of feng shui kind of? Does it
you can do
that?
feng shui, of course. Yeah. So if you have a feng shui map, yeah, that's a very good idea. Okay, so let me just switch on Safari and
before you switch off this, I'm
map.
sorry for 1 second.
Yeah,
How
sure.
does the test work? The individual is looking at the map and psychologically reacting to the different questions. It's not
Yes.
actually a test.
No. It's everything is measured through the reaction of the user.
Okay, I see. And they will automatically know if the EMF is too much in this place or that
They will
place,
not
for
know.
example.
They will not know mentally, but their body will know.
Their body will know, I mean,
Yeah.
yes.
So their
Okay,
body
got
will
it.
react when they see the information and they see EMF field. Their body will react. Okay. So it was a good idea to do some feng shui. So let's do some feng shui. So I create a new list and I click feng shui and I import the nice picture that I just found on internet. I confirm the picture. It will come back from the site. And it could be actually public. Let's say it's unlisted for now. So I will create a new list. I will create some items. On these items, if it's a public list, it's not specifically linked to a specific user, but I don't know. Help me with that. North.
It has to be a specific user, otherwise it doesn't work, right?
No. You can do a generic feng shui. Northeast. East. Okay, you understand the system. And now we can place. Oh, that's a bug. I still have the old one. Northeast and east. Okay, so I can place them on the image. That's a bug. I shouldn't have the old one. So this will be fixed. Of course, it's a beta. Northeast. If you accidentally delete one of the items of your list, like I just did, oops. Okay, I will validate and place again, and they will come back here. Okay. So now you can do northeast without typo. It would be better. East. Okay. And I validate. So let's say I've done everything. I would now go public. And because it is public, you can actually find it now in your BioCoherence software if you refresh the list. So don't go public unless you are ready. But Steven, just refresh your list and tell me if you see it. And you can do the test. And when you do the test, it will present you with the different sections. And this visual cue will be reinforced for the test. So it's not specific to a user. It's just a feng shui. How do you say boussole?
Diagram.
Yeah. In French, we say boussole, the thing that points to the north.
Compass.
Yeah, compass. Okay, yeah. Okay, so it's not finished, so I will not let it in public. So let's just say it's unlisted right now. But you see, this is a map that is not specific to a user. It's just specific to a certain way of looking for information. So this certain way of looking for information could be useful for any user. And there are thousands of specific ways, particularly into coaching, when you use maps of system organization, for instance. And these maps could be used for any kind of problems. So if you have some specific maps that you find useful, you can create this map and test the different zones of the map for a specific user.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so right now you cannot create frequency lists, but it will be possible in the next version. So right now the frequencies are limited to our own creation, but at one point we'll be able to enter new elements in your lists and add some specific frequencies. So if you work with any frequency devices and you want to add some specific frequencies into the system, it will be possible. And again, with these frequencies, you will be able to say, okay, this acts on some specific organs or some specific energetic systems, and it will be ranked according to the scan. So it's again very useful because you can enter the frequencies that you normally use with your devices, but with BioCoherence, you can have an automatic pre-evaluation.
Incredible.
Okay, I'm a bit late on but it was a big part, frequencies. So if you have any questions.
Did you start? I didn't understand quite how to go to lists from the front page. Is there an icon there? How do we
Yes,
go to
there
lists?
is. So
the opening page
so
that comes up.
you have two solutions. Either you open the list from here.
Where?
So test. It's
Oh,
all the
okay.
list items here. So you
Okay,
have the
I
list
see.
on items, you have the protocols. You can perform individual tests here because we have currently 18 items that we checked. So you can just do it from there, or you can see all the test results that are specific for this particular user. Okay.
So I would click on perform individual tests and do another scan.
Yes, this is for doing a scan. So this is for doing a new
Okay.
recording, as you can see here. But if you want just to edit your list, you can open the top right menu and just go to test lists.
Okay.
Okay. So this menu is a lead to all the main sections. So you can go back to home. You can go back to your home screen for the detail analysis. You can manage your contacts, but you can also go to test lists, and this will open the test list editor.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
So here you can see all the lists that you have and their status. But so if you open a particular list here and you are into a list, you can also access it through this button.
Medric, excuse me, just to be clear, this screen is not available on point 14, right? Because with the actual test now, we just have lists and items and frequency protocols. So you now have some additional options in there now.
No, it's the same. What options?
If you just go back out to your report there.
Ah, that's because you don't have, you didn't select anyone.
Ah, okay.
So
okay.
this is because I've already made some tests on this user. So there are some test results that are directly here available. The number is absolutely not correct because there are not 800 test results. So this is all the test results that you made for this user with a sum up or sum down, but it's not specific to this particular recording. It also takes the history of this user. So you can perfectly do another test, and maybe it will change the outcome because nothing is fixed forever, but it will present you with all the tests that you did for this user, even a few months ago. So if you don't remember if he liked French ginger or not, you can just go there and see the results.
So if you want to test if you're allergic to tomatoes, you just click tomatoes and you do a scan just for that if you want.
Yeah, sure. And if tomatoes doesn't exist, you can just create tomato. Create a list for you and add tomato.
How do you create the same as you did before? You put a picture of a tomato or something.
Yeah, why not? The more the information, the better. The more information.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
And the other things that I have here, so test results, but on here I have 18 individual tests, and if I click here, it will directly start the recording. But that is because I have selected some items here. That's the 18 items, and I can see here that I have one in this list. It shows one with the check, so I can just remove it if I want. I have 5 here, which are here. Up, click to, yeah, and you see the number is decreasing. So I still have 12, and I probably have some in lists, and so on. So if I remove all tests, I won't have the item on the home screen again. So right now I have only 12. But so the idea is that you do your shopping across all lists, and when you are lost, you can go here. But the real idea is that when you are on items and you want to ask your customer, he will receive a notification that a test is to be done. And on his home screen, he will have this new option, which is play, which will be only these items. So when one of your users installs the app and opens the reports that you sent, he will start with this. Only the PDF reports, playing the frequencies, playing the meditations. And if you asked him for some tests, the button for performing individual tests. So at this point, he will click here. He will do the recording locally. It will save it, send it back to the cloud, and you will get the results in your BioCoherence software.
So if we continue with the idea of a tomato, let's say I'm allergic to tomatoes, and the frequency can help me counteract that allergy, and then eventually I can test if I'm no longer allergic to it?
Not yet, because we don't have
know.
we don't know specific frequencies to desensibilize you of the tomato allergy. So right now you would be able to see that your body reacts negatively to the tomato information. But we don't have the tools yet to remove an allergy from your system. So that will, yeah.
But you have the when you play the meditation, say for example, a blockage in the nadi from the lung meridian.
Yeah.
Will that frequency unblock the nadis? Is that the intention?
Yeah. So you can actually you can work on your tomato allergy through the meditations and through all the biomarkers and available frequencies. It will not directly work on the allergy, but maybe it will help your body here in different ways. And when you test this tomato allergy later, maybe you will find it's better.
Okay, I see. Yeah. That's what I was looking for. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, any other question? I know lists is a big chunk, so maybe it's too much. But I tried to put a lot of information in the manual, and a lot of those is explained in the book. Sorry, did you see the book? We have the book in French and in English. So this is a real book with a lot of pages on information on everything you should know and you should learn to really understand the system. There are also something like 20 pages of scientific studies that I used to create the software. So all of this is rooted in science, but you have pages and pages and pages of cross-references for scientific studies. So this is the book that you could tell your customers to buy if they want to know more about the system, and that you should read by yourself. So it's available on Amazon and also as an ebook. So please tell me what you think of the book.
It's very, very good. The best book. And guys, if you have any other questions about any other aspects of the technology or of the system, now is the time.
I think it's also available on your website, isn't it? No? Oh no, it's just links.
For the book?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, yes, it's links to Amazon.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Right now it's a print on demand. At one point we will probably do a real print, a real run, but it's the fastest way to make it available to everybody, and because Amazon can deliver in a lot of countries, and it's also available in as an ebook.
Super. I'm about to buy it right now. Very good.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, or print it off.
And when you read it, and if you want to write something about it, we really need testimonials and blurbs and so on. So please do.
No problemo. I will do.
Cool.
I gotta go. That was really, really interesting, Madrid. Yeah. Thank you very much for that. Thanks, Steve. I'll be talking to you later. I'm all set now. I have everything working. I'm gonna scan.
I have a little technical question though. I went on the website, downloaded 0.14.
Yeah.
And it said downloaded, but that was it. It didn't say install or anything. So it's automatically now at 14.
No, when you download and install file, what is your system? Is it Mac or Windows?
Exactly. It's PC. It's on
Windows.
Microsoft.
So when you download something on the internet, it will show in your download folder
as an exec file.
Yeah, and you have to double click on the file to actually do the installation.
Okay, I did that, but it didn't say anything. I guess it just did it.
when you double click on the install file, it should say that it's currently installing the software. So
Okay, maybe I have to do it again then.
Yeah.
It downloaded, but it didn't upgrade the software.
So probably you didn't execute it. Yeah.
Okay.
Right now,
And
we have to during the beta we have to re-download it and reinstall it each time. When it's the definitive version, I will add something to auto update from the software. But right now we have to go from the beta and reinstall it.
sometimes the meditations have a static at the same time as the frequencies. Is that my equipment? I play the meditation, and at the same time as she's speaking, and there's like a static every few seconds.
Mm.
Not always, sometimes and sometimes not. So
You mean because there are a lot of different noises in the meditation, so maybe it's you mean it's not a noise that is desirable, or what?
no, it's impossible. I can't listen to it. It's too
Okay.
disturbing.
Yeah. So maybe
So,
there are some glitches still.
and I'm wondering if anybody else had that experience, or it's just me because I have whatever is wrong with my speakers or whatever.
One thing with the meditation is that the computer or the phone must stay awake, so the screen must stay open.
Right.
Yeah, and I already experienced some statics or some chop in the sound when I played the meditation from my phone, and simultaneously I was downloading big files from the 4G, and I think it was just too much for the phone. So the idea is that when you start the meditation, maybe you want to go into airplane mode, or you want to not have applications that could just eat the power of the system, because meditations are computed in real time. It's really a musical sequencer, in fact. So everything is generated in real time. So if there is not enough power in the device, it may make some artifact like that. I don't know.
Yeah. In my case, it's just a PC because I use a Samsung phone, so it's not compatible. So it's always on the PC.
It will be soon. It will be
That's
soon.
okay.
But the problem with Android is that you need powerful devices. So I don't guarantee it will work on any Android. We will see.
Okay.
But it's in the process of being available.
Frederick, perhaps you can send us a recording of the sound.
Okay, I'll record with my phone while I play on the laptop, and
yeah,
then
when there is a problem, so that I can hear where I can.
Okay, excellent. Thank you.
Okay, any other question about the app?
TJ is having a slight problem getting the sensor to connect to his iPhone, but we're going to talk after this after this webinar.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, trying to get it here, and I would have to find my I don't know. It's kind of running kind of choppy on my phone here right now.
The meditation?
No, just getting through the app.
Yeah.
How you're gonna talk on it?
We'll talk straight after the call.
Yeah. Where do you want to do that on?
As Zoom, I will send you a Zoom link. We'll just have a quick Zoom call.
Okay. You know what? If there is no more specific question on the app usage, we can stop the recording now.
Yeah. Just so you said 4G. You guys don't have 5G over there?
Or 5G, yeah. Anyway.
No, I was just curious because that's another test I wanted to do. There's a lot of literature about how bad 5G is for our energy and our bodies. Yeah. I don't know if there's a way to test that. How would you test if 5G is having a negative effect?
You could just add a list item, which would be 5G, and see how you react when you read the word.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'll try that. And what's your feeling about the 5G? Are we being fried all over?
The problem with 5G is, well, one thing is the specific frequencies used. But the main problem is that there is beamforming with the 5G. Which means when you have a 5G enabled phone and it's connected with 5G, the antenna physically follows you to beamform the signal to your phone. So my advice with 5G is just switch it off unless you really need it. Because 4G is a much more diffuse system. 5G is a very focused system on your phone. Okay, so if you have a 5G phone on your pocket, you are followed by the antenna, which is absolutely not very good, obviously. So just switch off the 5G and stay on 4G if you need your data, or just switch the data off if you don't need your data, but nobody needs the data at any time, you know. So if you need a very large bandwidth at one point, you just switch on the 5G, you do your thing, you just go a little bit away from the phone while it's downloading, and then you switch off the 5G.
Where do you switch on and off? I thought once you have 5G, it has to be 5G, no?
Yeah, you can switch it off and on in the settings of the phone.
And use 4G automatically.
Yeah. And you
Or
just switch on the 5G if you have an imperial desire of downloading this movie in 3 seconds instead of 10 seconds, you know.
That's about it. That's right. It's crazy. Okay, so I'll turn off the 5G on the phone generally.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Okay, merci beaucoup.
I'll stop.